Oh, all right, leg day. Let's do it.
All right, kicking off today's day with some high bar squats. I just added this in last week. Felt a bit better today, but unfortunately my left knee was bugging me right from the start. So I felt like my form was adjusting just to compensate for that. So I was using my right leg just a bit more, and I was probably pushing back more than I normally would, just to take the knee out of the equation a bit. Not the end of the world, but it focuses less on the quads by doing that, which is kind of why I'm doing the high bar squats, is to do more quad work there. Besides that, once I got going, it started to feel a bit better. Usually does. Any kind of thing like that, once you warm up and get the body moving, you usually feel better afterwards. Unless it's really bad, you should probably listen to your body in that case. Yeah, and I think most people generally will have one knee or one shoulder at some point or another that kind of bugs them more. So you just got to work around it. Don't try to work right through it if it's really painful, of course. Okay, so moving on. Here we are with some shrimp squats. Not loving the move too much. I'm just so bad at it. So I'm trying to get better. So I'm not sure if I'll leave it in or not. I'll probably do it for a few more weeks just to see how it progresses. But just because I'm not good at it doesn't mean you should just stop it. It might be a reason to do more of it, because there's probably some weak points there, even with balance and stability there, that this move actually does well with. So I'm just going to leave it in and see if it helps my other exercises and just how I feel after. Hopefully it improves over time. Up next, the bodyweight leg curl. I'm loving this move lately. It feels great on my hamstrings. It also works the calves too, which is kind of a side benefit. So I don't really have to do any extra calf work. I'm not too focused on them anyways, so if they don't get so developed, I'm not going to be doing calf raises or anything. I just don't like the way it feels. It actually ends up aggravating the back of my knee, so I just leave calf stuff out of it. But this kind of works it without actually hurting me, and I get a great stretch on the hamstrings as well. So I do enjoy this movement. And since last cycle or last block, I've changed the bands. So now I'm using a lighter band with that purple band. So progressing in that way, since you don't have actual weights, you have to kind of get creative and try different things to progress. All right, so we have the walking lunges. They're sped up just a bit, just so you don't have to wait through the whole thing, because it's a pretty long session. I'm really enjoying these moves though. I just threw it in last week for the first time, and you get such a burn in the quads. So if that's what you're after, look no further. And this is also a great exercise too. If you don't have a lot of options for weights, just get a ton of reps in using a light weight on either hand, or even just one hand. It doesn't really matter. You could probably use a kettlebell, and you're gonna just get a great pump from that, and you can build muscle all the same. You don't have to use heavy barbells like I use, in half my stuff. It's not absolutely necessary. You can get away with less weight, as long as you're pushing to your near failure. It doesn't have to be absolute failure, but you want to get close, especially when you're doing lighter reps. You got to push a bit closer to failure, which is mentally hard to do. That's the problem with doing high rep stuff. It's a bit more of a mental game, whereas the lower rep stuff's heavier, but you get it over with in a few seconds. 20 seconds comparatively to like 2 minutes of doing this, right? So to each their own, but use what you got.
All right, that wraps up leg day. That was brutal.